The following feature presentation is part of the Skywalking Network.
It's a Neverland Clubhouse, yeah. Think of all that we will share. Disney updates and fandom will take you everywhere. It's Courtney and Kelly, two sisters that will be together. Oh, join our Neverland Clubhouse, yeah. Two is twice as nice as one. Memories of friends and family, everybody is welcome. It's Courtney and Kelly, two sisters guiding you through Disney together, yeah.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to our 10th episode of the Neverland Clubhouse. Wow, how did we get here at 10 episodes? This is the Disney podcast where we go to different park lands to share Disney stories, news, and what's going on with Disney Plus. We are your tour guides through Disney fandom. I'm Kelly, and this is my sister, Courtney. Hey, everyone. Today, we will be taking you to Adventureland. But not just to Adventureland, but to the jungle, because today's episode is all about the iconic Disney attraction, the Jungle Cruise. We will be discussing new additions and changes to the attraction at Disneyland, as well as give our thoughts on the brand new movie. But we will not be embarking on this journey alone. Please welcome our very special co-host, Sarah Woloski of Skywalking through Neverland and Totally Tell Me Everything. Welcome, Sarah.
Oh my goodness, thank you so much. And could I have picked longer names for my shows?
No, I don't think you could have.
It's a mouthful there, so you got through it.
I know. Right? We're so happy to have you with us today. Yes, welcome. Welcome to the clubhouse.
I'm excited. Oh, thank you so much.
So, are we ready? Let's head on into Adventureland and jump in our Jungle Cruise riverboat and go see the backside of water.
We're ready.
O2H.
O2H.
Yay. So on July 17th, we went down to Disneyland for its 66th anniversary. It was the second official day of the Jungle Cruise opening after its refurbishment. Disney made some changes to the ride and made it more diverse and inclusive.
Okay. So I'm excited because I have not been to Disneyland since Avengers Campus opened, which was the beginning of June. So now Jungle Cruise opened, you said July 17th. Wow, it's been like almost 2 months.
Yeah. The first day was the 16th, so that Friday. Okay. And the 17th was the Saturday, so it was the second day of it. They did some soft openings a couple weeks before, but officially the 16th.
Okay, I got it. All right. So take me through Jungle Cruise then. So let's start with like the entrance and the queue. Was there anything changed with the entrance sign at all?
Not in the very beginning, like the actual entering into the attraction. It mostly stayed the same. It looks exactly the same actually. So okay. But once you get into the queue, I didn't exactly see it myself, but I think, Kelly, you saw this, right? Yeah. Where it says I'm not sure where it was in the queue, but Frank and Lily's costumes from the movie Jungle Cruise are in the queue.
Oh,
they're kind of in the beginning part of the queue.
Okay. How did you miss that?
They're kind of hard to see.
Okay. Are they on stands or are they on the wall?
They're on the wall, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've seen other people's pictures of them, and I believe they're on the wall, like kind of caged in. So if you're not looking in the exact right place at that time, you'll miss them.
Okay, yeah. Got it.
And then up in the second part of the queue, you know how it wraps around and takes you upstairs if it's really long. There's the map that they use in the movie.
Oh,
the map, yeah.
Okay, so the map that's drawn and they look at like a bunch. There's like a bunch of maps, aren't there?
There are a bunch of
maps.
maps, but I believe it's the first one that Lily is like really like looking at that is hanging up on the wall, and you do go past it, and it's a big, huge map, so you can't miss it.
Oh, cool. That's really fun.
Yeah. Kelly, what else did we see in the queue? So in the queue, there's like a clothesline overlooking when you're up on the bridge, the second half of the queue. And it has a bunch of the skipper uniforms on it. And it's so cute because it looks like they like just washed them in the river and hung them out to dry. Like that's how they wash their clothes.
Oh, how cute. So it's like actual skippers. So not from the film, but the skippers from the ride.
The skipper uniforms. Like their uniforms that they wear.
Aw, that's a nice touch. It kind of lends to the storytelling aspect.
Yeah, it kind of makes it seem like they live there. You know,
Yes.
like they live in the Jungle Cruise.
I wonder where their bunks are. I guess they're on the boats.
They're on the boats underneath.
Yeah.
You know, the movie tells us that.
Oh yeah, duh. Of course. Along with some liquor.
That's right. Always. Yeah, much that. Where you know, as you know, Johnny Depp says in Captain Jack Sparrow, "Why is the rum always gone?"
Yes.
But also another fun thing in the queue is they started playing like 1940s, 1930s radio announcements.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So kind of like we had a touch of Disney.
Yes, exactly like that. Kelly, do you remember what it was like? Some of the things that they said. I do, and it's kind of fun because like before Jungle Cruise was like 5-minute wait, 10-minute wait, right? And you don't really get to like interact with the queue, but because it's new, and of course the lines are a little bit longer, you know, you get to hear the radio announcements. And so I did have a couple of examples of what we heard in the queue. So this one's really funny. Was one of my favorites. It comes on, it goes, attention.
Attention everyone waiting in line for the world famous Jungle Cruise. As a reminder, please do not take pictures in line. Please do not take pictures in line. They are nailed to the wall for a reason. Please put the pictures back.
They don't want you stealing the pictures.
No, or the map, apparently.
That's right. Don't take the map. Right. Yeah, don't take the map. It's like it first comes on, you're like, what? I can't take a picture in line?
Right. So because it's that 1930s, it's like, please do not take pictures in line. Please do not take the pictures in the line.
Exactly. There was another good one that they played. What was that one, Kelly? So that one was, it comes on, it goes, this is a test. This is a test. If this was an actual announcement, it would have included an announcement. I love that one. That's my favorite. That's my favorite one.
That's so cute.
And it was in that voice, and it was hilarious in that voice. It was really yeah. They were also like telling knock jokes and stuff. So
oh my. Wow. So it's on a loop, obviously. I wonder how long the loop is. Like if that line gets
it was like
long.
knock. Who's there? Yeah. And then it goes denial. Denial who? Denial who? Denial and the Congo River are something you're going to be going down today. How funny.
That's cute. I like that. I'd want to go just to hear the line cue.
Yeah. I'm like, make the line longer. I'll stay an hour in that queue. They must have figured out that people really like that during A Touch of Disney. So they thought maybe put it in the Jungle Cruise because
if they listened to various podcasts, they would have heard that people liked that.
Yeah. I actually thought that was a very nice touch of Disney. So I'm glad that it's back in the Jungle Cruise because it's that era.
Yeah. And it sets you in that era too. It's nice. It's a very
right
good
in.
Yeah, it's perfect. I love it. All right. So was that all with the queue or was there anything?
No, there's one other thing. There used to be a pelican bird or a hornbilled bird that was looked down on you as you were like going up and down the stairs. Okay. And he's gone. Well, he's not gone. He's just moved to a different part of the attraction. So, but there's nothing up above there to be interacting with. And I know when the ride first opened, or not even first opened, but like before, the hornbilled bird was there. And I know in one of my books it said that like a snake used to be up there too, but I know that was gone like a long time ago, but the bird was there up until recently.
The snakes must have moved to Indy.
Yeah. Because where else would they go, right?
It can go into oblivion for all I care.
Nice. All right. So how long did you actually wait on this second day of the reading?
I want to say we waited like 35, 40 minutes. It wasn't long for
It really wasn't.
a new
It
attraction.
constantly moved. It wasn't
Okay.
bad. But it was the first ride we did when we got there. So, and a lot of people were like, it's brand new because it was like the second day and that's where everybody went. So,
Right.
yeah, we didn't wait that long though.
Okay. All right. So time to ride. What happens? What happens? Take me through.
Well, so one of the major changes at the very beginning is there's a big white snake statue and it's like coiled around like this ball. I think there's supposed to be a joke that goes with it, but our skipper was more comfortable with older jokes. So we heard an Indiana Jones joke instead. So it was just kind of this statue that was sitting there, but I did recognize it as being brand new. And then the rest of it was pretty much the same up until you got to the African belt. It looked like there was more wildebeests added to the area. This is the part of the ride where you go into where the lions and the pride, they're watching over the sleeping zebra.
Okay. So all the animal. It's like the Lion King section.
Yeah, it is. It's like the Lion King section. And I just like there looked like there was just a few more wildebeests, or they call them GNUs, GNUs. So, because I know they do that joke where it says GNU and then good giraffes, like they do the hard G for all the animals, because people don't know that name. So I think there was a little bit more, it looked more filled out. But then right next to that is the Rhinoceros Scene, where it's chasing people up a pole. The people are different than they were before. They're more diverse. So there's like artists, there's a geographer, there's like different people there, and they're all different ethnicities. But the one at the bottom is Skipper Felix. So he is dressed as a Jungle Cruise skipper. And it's kind of like he led this group on an excursion and they got lost and they got cornered by a rhinoceros and ran up a pole.
Okay. So to Skipper Felix, we haven't heard of him before. He's kind of made up now for this new.
Yeah, he's just made up, and you really don't know his name until the skipper on the boat says it. Oh, that's Skipper Felix's boat. They make a joke about how we did not see them. So as we're not liable for them.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. And then, but it goes
cute.
right into the hippo pool, which is actually a really cool scene because now it has the hippos and they're still wiggling their ears, but now there is a sunken Jungle Cruise boat.
What? Yeah. Like full size?
Like a full-size Jungle Cruise boat, and it's sunk in the water. Like
you can only see like the top of it, but
you only see the top of it.
Okay.
So it might be half a boat, just because,
yeah,
the deep of
but
the
it is made to look like the full boat has sank, and that the hippos did it.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So instead of looking cute with their ears wiggling, they're more dangerous?
They're more dangerous. They're now like stressing the dangers of hippopotamus.
Oh. I love it. Wow, that sounds really cool.
And they still do the gun shot, kind of like flare for help or something like that.
Okay.
And you infer, or they make a joke about how that may be Skipper Felix's boat.
Ooh.
And it sank, and that's why they're on land running from a rhino.
Okay.
Gotta tie in the story.
And we gotta do the 2 gunshots because as we learned from Disney Plus show. What is that Disney Plus show called?
The Behind the Attraction.
That's it. Yeah, there's one on Jungle Cruise.
Yeah.
And we learned that is like a marker for all the other skippers to know where people are on the ride.
Exactly. So if they don't do those 2 gunshots, then you don't know where you are in the story. For like the other skipper to start their cruise or something like that.
Yeah, that's super cool. I love that.
Mm-hmm. And then we move on to the next scene where we have a full-sized skipper boat, Jungle Cruise riverboat, and it is taken over by monkeys.
Wow.
Like the whole boat has about like 3 or 4 monkeys, right, Kel?
Yeah, so this is the Mekong Maiden, and something we learned is that the monkey's holding a map, but the monkey is holding the wrong map.
Mm-hmm.
And the map happens to be a map of the Jungle Cruise for Walt Disney World, and Walt Disney World's monkey is holding a map of Disneyland's Jungle Cruise.
Oh,
And that's why they got lost.
That's why they got lost.
So the monkeys. So is the story that I'm trying to think with this between the skipper and the monkeys taking over. Like, what's the whole story?
I don't know if the monkeys tie into the Skipper Felix story. I think because it's the African belt, and then you're going into a different
Congo.
part of the jungle.
Okay,
So it's kind of just like they took over a random jungle boat.
it's a different scene.
Yeah, it's a different scene, and the skipper kind of makes a joke that says like, they think my job is so easy, a monkey could do it.
Ah,
Mm-hmm.
And
And also there's a little bit of a backstory with the Mekong, because that's supposed to be one of the rivers originally in the original script that we learned in Behind the Attraction, that Mekong River is one of the rivers that you're supposed to be going down. So Mekong
cool.
Maiden of the name of the boat is a callback to that.
that's neat. I like how when they pluck history and kind of sprinkle it into today.
yeah, there's so
Exactly.
many monkeys in the Jungle Cruise now. There's like gorillas and monkeys, and there's like across the way from the Mekong Maiden, it's like another monkey that's like chasing butterflies and catching it in a net, and
Wow.
like a capuchin monkey. There's so many monkeys.
Yeah.
Oh, and the capuchin monkey is like the Friends monkey, right?
Yeah, Marcel.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
There
like
you go.
Marcel. Unfortunately, all the headhunters are gone. So also the monkeys have kind of taken place of the headhunters. So instead of putting different people animatronics in there, they just put more monkeys in.
So do the monkeys throw spears at you?
No.
Oh, darn. I really liked that part.
I know. It would have been funny, right?
Yeah. I always thought that was fun.
Oh, yeah. That was like my favorite part is when they like
They get down and they're like,
spears.
get down,
Like,
pew, 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 spear,
Yeah.
spear, spear.
No, it's just look at the monkeys trying to catch butterflies.
Okay.
And you know, they're pointing out the plants and the granite, and
Yeah, they still do
don't
that.
take it for granted.
Okay, good. And I'm sure the backside of water.
Oh yes,
Oh,
backside
yeah.
water's still there. Yep, and the
Okay.
O2H still reigns supreme.
Nice.
And also the elephant bathing pool is still the same, and the monkeys trying to turn the Jeep over is still the same.
Okay.
It's just
They just can't get it to turn over.
I know.
Well,
They just try as might, and they still have guns. Yeah, so.
And
Okay.
don't look like a banana. Don't look like a banana.
Don't look appealing.
Oh, there you go. Okay, so then if Trader Sam is gone with his 2 heads for one of yours, is there something in place of that moment?
So Trader Sam's is now a gift shop.
Oh.
So it says Trader Sam will be back in 5 minutes. So there is a reference to Trader Sam, but you never see Trader Sam.
Okay.
And Ellie the
What
elephant-
Trader Sam is selling is all the lost and found items that Sam has found along the Jungle Cruise.
Yeah.
Oh,
Or people
cute.
falling over or something like that.
Yeah.
Overboard. But so there's even a callback to when it was a Jingle Cruise. There's an ugly sweater, ugly Christmas sweater.
Oh,
that the
in
monkeys are
the
fighting over.
how cute. And that's in the gift shop. So you can't really shop in the gift shop. It's
No.
on the ride. Like it's one
It's
is.
on the ride. It's like right before Ellie the elephant, who's still there.
Ooh.
It's so funny because they have so many, I think, Easter eggs, and it's so hard to catch all of them. And I want to go on it again and see more Easter eggs into this gift shop, because there's like a record player, and the monkeys are all on the turntables and they're just spinning. And like she said, there's the Christmas sweater, and there's so much stuff you're looking at, and it's so fast right at the end there that you don't get to see a lot of it. But I can't wait to go back and pick out the little Easter eggs in that shop.
There's even like a 1930s old camera that like the light bulb goes off, like the monkeys taking pictures.
Oh yeah.
I don't think they put a picture thing in there, but it's like an old time camera, like the monkeys taking pictures.
Yeah, it just goes
cute.
flash.
Okay.
It keeps flashing.
Yeah, I don't think that the Jungle Cruise boat would make a good picture because everyone's facing different ways.
Yeah.
But cool. Oh my gosh.
And then you go back and you disembark, and they still tell you to get out.
Right. Please.
Sorry, that was rude.
Get out.
Please get out.
I like
Or
that.
you'll be outstanding on the dock.
Yes.
You've been outstanding. Now you're outstanding on the dock. Yeah.
I love those corny jokes.
I know. Okay, so that brings me to like overall, do you guys think these were good changes? Annoying changes? Do you want it back?
I like the changes. I feel like it was very good. My favorite one is the sunken ship with the hippos. I do feel like it does make the hippos more, scarier a little bit. Like they are really dangerous. I feel like they did a great job with the homages to the old and the new. I want to write again because I feel like we got more old jokes than new jokes because the skippers can pick and choose what jokes they are comfortable with. So I'm thinking that if we get another skipper, they might be more comfortable with newer jokes and it might be a different ride the next time. But I feel like the changes are warranted and they did a great job of making it seamless throughout the ride. So.
Okay. What about you, Kelly?
I do like the new changes as well. I think it probably was needed. I love the Mekong Maiden, the little nod to the old original ride with the Mekong River and the monkeys that have the different maps. I think that is such a cool little nod to Disney fans, like just, oh, this is the Walt Disney World map. Oh no, we're going to get so lost. It's because the Jungle Cruise is different in every theme park. It's not the same. Yeah. So, like if you have the wrong map, you're going to get lost.
Yeah.
I think that's really fun. As far as anything I miss, there's a few things that you're going to miss. The spears and all of the funny little things about the headhunters, the hokey pokey jokes and all of that. But, it was needed. The times have changed.
Right.
And I like this version. This version's really cute.
Oh, cool. Well, I'm excited to ride. And that's the great thing about the Jungle Cruise is it is a different ride every time based on who you get. So like, that's one of the rides we usually always ride. One, because the line's so short and two, because it is always it's a fun, well, actually there's a lot of reasons. One, line is short. Two, you get different rides. And three, you get to sit down in a nice boat and it's usually shady.
Yeah. Well, and that was another thing in behind the attraction that I just remembered was that they put so many elephants in the bathing pool and they were like, you can't put that many elephants in the bathing pool. They're never going to be able to see all the elephants. And Walt was like, that's perfect because that makes rewindability. Yeah. And you'll get to see something different every time because you'll be in a different position on the boat or you'll be facing a different way or, the rewritability of the Jungle Cruise is really heightened now because of all that.
Oh, good.
When it very first opened, and that's why he brought in Mark Davis too, is because he overheard one of the moms say that we've already done that. We don't need to do it again. And he then was like, oh, no, that's not going to fly. And that's why he brought in Mark Davis to make it funnier. Because when it first started, it wasn't funny at all. It was just giving you facts about the jungle. So Walt Disney was very big on rewritability.
Makes sense. And he made a park where there's lots of annual pass holders / magic key holders who are going to want to re-ride.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh,
we're right here. We're three of them.
Right
we're three of them.
Absolutely. Yeah. So with that, yeah, I guess everyone who's listening right now, after you listen to this, finish listening, definitely go check out Behind the Attraction on Disney Plus, because you learn so much. And they have not just Jungle Cruise, but they have a Star Tours episode and a Space Mountain episode,
Tower of Terror, and a Haunted Mansion one.
Yeah, Haunted Mansion and Tower of Terror. Yes.
Those are the
So
first
good.
5. The second 5 are coming later this month.
Yay.
Yes. So we're going to get
exciting.
more. I'm so excited.
Yeah. So I love those Imagineering story and all that stuff.
Oh yeah. Disney Plus needs more of those. Like, I'm like, don't just pick 10. Pick do one of all of them, because I want to know the backstory.
I want a
of all
behind the
of them.
attraction of every single attraction, from Disneyland to Walt Disney World to Tokyo to Shanghai. I want them all.
Let's
Yeah.
do it.
Let's do it.
All right. Well, I'm excited to ride. You've got me excited. But now let's move on to the Jungle Cruise movie. And I just want to say that you both were so kind in inviting Richard and I to D23's opening night screening at El Capitan Theater on July 29th. And we couldn't go due to work, but you guys got to go. So I want to hear all about it now. Make me jealous.
Yeah, it was such a bummer you guys couldn't come with us. But yeah, it was so much fun. Like, anytime D23 does an event, we always have so much fun. So the screening was at 5 p.m. on July 29th. Most of the time when these movies drop, they drop at 7 p.m. on Thursday. So this was a screening before the public could see it.
Wow.
We were able to check it about 3:30, and that was not early enough, because as Disney fans, we like to line up early. So, and like, you get the email and they're like, don't come before 3:30. And then you get there and there's lines down the street.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So what do you do when you get there? You just jump in a line.
Yeah.
And then you just figure it out.
Yeah.
So we parked across the street at the Dolby Theater, and when we got there, Kelly got in line and was like, go figure out what line, because there was 2 separate lines, one going towards the right and one going towards the left. And so when I got closer up to the front, there was really no one telling you where you were going, but they had 2 signs, one going to the orchestra and one for the balcony. So I kind of inferred that you kind of got to pick what side you wanted to go in, and that was where you were going to sit in the theater, whether you
Okay.
went in the orchestra, which is down below, or balcony up above. So we chose to sit in the balcony.
Nice.
And when we
Well,
got
that was the line I was in.
That works out.
Yeah, she already had our spot, so we weren't going to lose it, because it was just getting longer as it went. So then they started to finally let us into the theater, and they had a photo opportunity, what they called a
Ooh.
bodo op. A bodo op. It was great. And it was kind of like a photo op of the ship, the rock ship, and it said the Jungle Cruise, and it was kind of coming at you. So and
when
you
you took
stood
the
on
picture.
either side for the picture.
Cool.
And so that was kind of really fun. And then everybody, because it's a D23 event, it's the biggest, like some of the biggest fans. And so they're all cosplaying as, Emily Blunt's character, or skippers from the ride, or Jungle Cruise inspired apparel. So we both
Aw.
had ours. We got green. I was in a green dress, and Kelly had a green shirt on with elephants on it, like the elephant.
I'm
baby
wearing
pool.
it right now.
Yeah.
Oh yes, you are. Yeah, and it's like super cute. You guys you all matchy. It was adorable. And aw, look at the little
Yeah.
elephant in the pool.
Yes,
Yes.
this little Bertha, she's bathing.
That's always the best part. Like when we went to Avengers Campus opening day and everyone was like Disney bounding as various superheroes. So that must have been fun. Everyone must have been in khakis and greens and browns.
Yeah,
Yes,
and
they
even
were.
like ascots and on the neck with like the blouse, the way that
Oh.
Emily Blunt is kind of dressed up in, like, for most of the movie. So there was that. And we ran into the president of D23, Michael Vargo, and Jeffrey Epstein, who does the podcast for D23 Inside Disney. So we got to say
Wow.
hi to them. And yeah, and
I'm always surprised that Michael recognizes us.
That's
Yeah.
so cool.
So that was fun.
He was so sweet. He was like, "Oh, you guys are just at Disneyland,"
And he noticed
Aw.
our matching outfits too. He's like, "You guys look great." You know?
Yeah. Jeffrey too. Jeffrey recognizes us too and says hi. every
Jeffrey,
chance.
when we first became D23 members, he was the one who gave us the tour of.
He was
the
our
back
tour
lot.
guide.
He was our tour guide.
Wow.
Yeah. And
Oh
I was
my
like the only
gosh.
one like freaking out. I was like, it's the Disney Geek, because it was like
Yes.
he had just done the Disney Geek and he
Yeah.
wasn't doing it anymore. But
Yeah, I remember when he was doing that.
yes. And he was like, "Oh my gosh, do you remember that?" I'm like, "Yes, I used to like watch it every week." So it was like
so
before
long
the
ago.
podcast. Yeah.
Wow. All right. So when is he going to be on the podcast?
I know, right? Hopefully soon.
You've got an in now.
Invitations open, guys.
Yeah,
Always
Nice.
open.
Aw.
So then they gave us little vouchers to get Dole Whip and also popcorn and soda. So there was 2 different vouchers, and we got like a little cup of Dole Whip, and yeah, that was fun.
Did
And
Awesome.
then we
And
got
you got hats. I was going to say,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
Courtney, you're wearing your Jungle Cruise hat
I
right now.
am. They gave us a skipper's hat that looks like the Rock's hat that he wears in the movie, and it just says Disney's Jungle Cruise on it.
Nice.
Yeah, because
Advertising.
the D23 events, they always give you a special gift, and this time it was the skipper hats.
That's awesome. Wow.
It was so fun. And they had the costumes there too.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
they
So when we went
did.
down and finally got our seats, we could sit. We had like front, middle, like seats in the balcony, and it's stadium seating, so nobody was sitting in front of us. And on either side of this big screen, there was Emily Blunt's character's costume as well as Dwayne Johnson's. And then on the other side, it was Edgar Ramirez and Jack Whitehall's.
Okay. On the balcony. That's cool.
They
And
kind
then-
of faked us out a bit though with that
Why
because
is that?
like behind the Rock's costume, like the curtain and everything, like it was moving like the whole time during the pre-show. Like
Yeah.
just seemed like there was
Shaking
somebody
it.
behind his costume.
like someone was going to pop out.
Well,
Yeah.
we thought they might because he was wearing a skipper hat. Like you could see an extra skipper hat because Frank's costume had a skipper hat, and then you could see an extra one just kind of back there and shaking it. And they did it a couple of times behind Jack Whitehall's too, but
Okay.
like then nothing ever happened. So
Mm.
that was
Such a fake out.
Ah. Wow. How exciting. Okay. Oh my gosh. All right. So was that everything about the event itself?
no, because we
Oh.
actually did get to see the organ player too.
Oh, yay.
He came back and played some Disney songs for us, and
Some
that-
fantastic Disney songs.
yeah. And
Aw.
he had not been back. I think this is the first time he's been back, right?
Yeah. He said it was
Wow.
his first night back and he loved it because he was with Disney fans.
Yeah. So, and then Michael Vargo came out to introduce us to the movie, but first he introduced a very special guest.
Oh, it was a surprise.
Who was it?
It
was
Bob
Chapek himself.
Whoa. Now, what's his official title? He's like CEO of.
CEO of the Walt Disney Company.
Okay, that's what I thought. Wow.
Yeah.
That's.
'Cause
that's
I
super
think
cool.
Bob Iger is now executive chairman. I
Okay.
think that's his official title.
Official titles.
So yeah, Bob Chapek, CEO of the Walt Disney Company, he came in and greeted us and thanked us for being Disney fans and introduced the Jungle Cruise because everybody's been waiting so long for this movie to come out, and so he just had to be there to introduce the movie.
Interesting
Aw.
fact, though. Michael Vargo said that Bob Chapek has been a D23 member since it first was established.
Yeah, he has been involved with D23 since 2009, since it was established. That was
Nice.
interesting.
That's cool. And that was established on my birthday, March 10th.
Oh, yes, it was.
Ah, yes,
March
it was.
10th. That's probably because he was chairman of Parks and Consumer Experiences. at the time.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Wow. That's so cool. So then, of course, let's see. So the organ player played,
Mhm.
of course. And did they play Is there any like attraction songs that he plays, or is it mostly the film music?
I heard Zippity Doo Dah a lot in there. So
it
that's
was mostly
Splash
like
Mountain.
just well-known
Okay,
songs.
got it.
I think he played. No, the one that stands out to me is he usually plays Zippity Doo Dah.
Okay,
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
Which has become an attraction song because they won't release the movie.
I know, right? That's the only way you can hear it is Splash Mountain.
Nice.
And almost not that.
Right.
Almost not anymore.
Almost, yeah. When is that refurbishment?
There's no date.
No,
Okay.
There's no date.
Oh, yeah, not at this point anymore.
So go write it when you can.
Go ride it, get wet, and get Richard really annoyed.
Exactly.
Yes.
And then
Oh,
drag
yeah,
him
you
on
gotta
it.
get Richard on it before it closes.
There you go. I will.
There was like a light show before it, and they opened up
Oh.
the curtain. There was like a big peacock.
Yeah.
And just kind of a bunch of animals, and it was just a light show. So I think that'll play during the normal screenings of it at the El Capitan as well.
Right.
Because I mean, I remember seeing Frozen there, and Elsa came out and did like a little like light show, magic show in the beginning of Frozen, and same thing with we saw Muppets Most Wanted there a couple of years ago when that first came out, and Kermit the Frog sang in front of that. So that's kind of I don't know how that
that's
ties
fun.
into Jungle Cruise with the big peacock, but yeah, it was just a bunch of animals and a light show. So
It's like,
that'll
wait,
be
did
fun.
Disney turn into NBC? I'm so
I know,
confused.
right? That's your competitor, and their streaming is called Peacock. So
Right?
stop right now.
Okay, random non sequitur, but I was just
Right.
watching Peacock, the Olympics,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
today, and earlier today there was one program where they had the Olympic champions meet an actual peacock. And like they just like would talk to it or like pet it, or not really pet it, but just like try to like have a conversation, and the peacock would be doing this, and it was funny.
And you're like,
Okay.
okay. Well, my mom likes the review of Martha Stewart and Snoop Dogg.
Oh,
get-
I haven't watched that one. Okay.
Yeah.
Was it fun? Okay.
Yeah. She said it was hilarious. That's why she wanted Peacock on her TV, because she wanted to watch Martha Stewart and Snoop Dogg. So,
It's so random. Wow. All right. Well, that sounds really fun. And of course, then the lights go down and you watch Jungle Cruise
Yes.
with a bunch of Disney fans. So I think now we have to get into your review of the Jungle Cruise, because hopefully it's better than me and Richard's review of the Jungle Cruise, because we did review a spoiler-free review on Skywalking Through Neverland. And if you've listened, well, you know, we weren't so taken with the film,
Yeah.
but we are very interested in what other people think of the film. And so yes, so please let me know what did you guys think?
and
Well, first of all, we gotta say there are gonna be spoilers.
yeah.
Oh yes.
So-
We'll be spoiling it.
Warning, spoilers. This is your warning.
Attention Skywalkers. Spoilers ahead.
Warning!
Attention Skywalkers. Spoilers ahead.
Warning!
So what are you doing out here?
There is a legend in the jungles of the Amazon of a tree that heals all. It could change the world, but if it gets into the wrong hands, it could awaken a great evil. I believe that the legend is real.
Which it's not.
And I'm going to find it.
Which you won't.
And when I do, just imagine the lives that could be saved.
I've been looking for this tree longer than anybody. I've tracked the legend to every village, every island. Nothing. You're searching for something that can't be found.
But you've never had the key.
Let's do something that's safe. Let's go see some elephants.
There are no elephants in the Amazon, and I don't even like elephants.
Lady, everybody likes elephants. Know this about the jungle. Everything that you see wants to kill you, and can.
All right. So Courtney, you want to start with you?
Yeah, I actually really enjoyed this movie because I found it very entertaining. I don't think that it was meant to be any like blockbuster, best thing ever, blow everything else in the water away. I just thought it was supposed to be entertaining, and that's what I got out of it. I do love the fact that it's Indiana Jones-esque, Pirates of the Caribbean. The Mummy, because those are some of my favorite movies, and I watch those over and over and over again. So I do feel like Jungle Cruise for me has rewatchability because I love that. And I found Jungle Cruise very, very funny. And it could be just where you are, but since the first time we saw it, we were in a theater full of D23 members who are nostalgic for the ride. That whole entire Amazon Jungle Cruise part, where he's, going around the boat and making everything happen and doing all his lame, corny jokes. Everybody in the room roared with laughter. Everybody got it. Everybody was like, yes. And it was super funny. Now, that is to say, we did see it again on Friday night at a regular AMC, and that part was not as funny to people. There was maybe 2 groups laughing, our group and one other group. So it is who you see it with, I think, with the humor of this movie.
That makes sense. Yeah.
So, but I felt that everything really flowed really well up until a certain point. And then it got a little like, what now? But it still was a fun ride throughout the whole movie. So that's what I really liked about it.
Okay. All right. So Kelly, what about your initial review? And then we'll get into more details.
Yeah. So my initial review is I am so mixed on it.
Oh.
I loved the first hour 15 of the movie. I thought the beginning was funny. I thought Emily Blunt was great and The Rock was funny. But this movie has way too many snakes. It just has way too many snakes.
Including a snake man.
Yeah. I expected it because, of course, it's the Jungle Cruise. And
we're in the
Amazon and there are snakes, but I think they went a little over the top. And they had a villain solely made of snakes, like you said, which the storyline with it, I guess, was made sense, but I didn't need that many snakes.
Right.
And towards the end, where he kind of got overcomplicated with the storylines and all the storylines kind of came together. Mm-hmm. I don't think they really kind of fit all together.
Yeah, they didn't mesh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the first half of this movie was great. Loved it. I think I'm on board with everything Courtney said about it. The last half of this movie, I was just like, and I'm not a huge Indiana Jones fan. I've never seen any of those movies. I've never seen The Mummy. I don't really like it.
I had to force her to go on the Mummy ride.
So I don't really have that to compare it to.
Okay.
I do think that in comparing it to Pirates, because a lot of people do compare it to Pirates, it kind of did feel like a little bit of a knockoff with the villains and everything and the curse.
Right, especially like Dead Man's Chest.
Yeah.
Where they had those villains that are made of sea creatures or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it did feel a little bit like a story that has already been told. With that said, I loved Emily Blunt's character. I love Jack Whitehall's character. We have to talk about him. Oh. He is the comedic relief of all of it. I love him.
And this is her brother in the film.
Yes, this is McGregor Houghton. And he, to me, was so funny. But I love Jack Whitehall's stand-up. He's a he has a stand-up comedian.
Okay.
Yeah. I've been watching him for a couple years, so I thought that his timing was really impeccable there.
Oh, nice. Okay. Yeah, I kind of felt similar in that it's just overly complicated. Like, I feel like it's like when you are about to go out to dinner and you have all these accessories on, take 2 off or something. I think that's the rule, right? It's like they should have had this story and then been like, okay, now we need to get rid of 2 plot points and then simplify this down to some essence.
Right.
But that was just,
I could get behind that. Yeah.
Yeah. That was my whole take on it. But there were things that I liked about it too. And again, you can hear that on Skywalking Through Neverland. I don't want to repeat myself in there, but let's go over maybe like some of our favorite moments. Well, okay, wait. Before we get to the favorite moments, I want to discuss something that I wasn't able to on Skywalking because we didn't do a spoiler review. Okay.
Right.
So I wanted to go to kind of the end. So all throughout this movie, Lily, she has been like laser focused on finding a cure because right now it's World War I in England and, you know, people are dying and she just wants this. She's heard about this healing power. And so she's done everything she possibly could to get this healing power. And she has this one petal in her hands and it's like the only thing she can use to create this medicine. And she uses it for the one man. So like for me, that just kind of didn't ring true. And at that time, she didn't know she was going to get another petal to use. Right. And so like that just to me just annoyed me because for me at that point, their chemistry hadn't been built up enough for me to believe that. But that might have been just my take. And if I watch it again, maybe I'll like their chemistry better. But yeah, that was my one like major problem with the ending there.
I think that that problem for me was solved with the one line, "Your world enough for me." They had that great conversation about how Frank didn't want to live because he was like 400 years old. And he was like, "I'm done." And she's like, "What about other things?"
No, I don't accept it. You could have one more life.
Luckily for me, it's my choice.
Well, it shouldn't be because you have very poor judgment.
But you have your world to go back to. It's your world.
But it could be yours, too. It could be that one person's world enough.
When they say to each other, "Your world enough for me," that kind of solved my issue with that. Just because it's a little romantic. And I did like their chemistry together. Their banter back and forth. She called him Skippy. He called her Pants. I liked it.
I didn't like it at all. But
no, you didn't like that?
No, I just felt when he was calling her lady or pants, it was just very derogatory in my opinion. But then I've been on podcasts like Fangirls Going Rogue where we're very hypersensitive to stuff like that. So, you know.
Well, you have to also know that like it's set in the 1916. So, and he's 400 years old. So him focusing on pants, that he's just probably never seen a woman in pants before because that's the sign of the times there. It's a period piece. Basically. So I get that where some people would be like, well, we wear pants all the time. But in 1916, women did not unless they were going against society. And you know, her character didn't make any qualms about it. She just wore her pants. She was not going to change her ways just because he was like, "You're wearing pants."
Or society.
I love,
That is good.
I loved her line that said, "Frank, you are very much like laser focused on the pants. Get over it." Like in her way, she's just like, "You're very interested in my apparel. Get out."
Yeah, and I think it starts out as kind of like pants, like a woman wearing pants, and then it kind of gets more endearing as the movie goes on. Yeah,
you're right. It's like Timeless where he calls her ma'am at the beginning. She's like, "Don't call me ma'am," and then ma'am kind of becomes "I love you." At the end, exactly. Towards the end. But I'm going off on a tangent.
Oh, it's all good. It's okay. Yeah, everybody has their own feelings about it, and it's different times. So you know, now in a movie, if that was set in present day, I don't know if that would fly. But because it's set in 1916, and like he's 400 years old, he's never seen a woman wear pants, and he infers that all the luggage is hers as well, when it's actually her brother's.
Yes.
Yes.
That was a great twist. I like that.
Yeah. And he starts throwing it all in the river, and the only thing that stays is the liquor.
That box can stay. That's okay.
Yeah, that box can stay. So, it didn't really bother me, but I liked their chemistry, and that ending scene just tied it all together.
Okay.
For me, it was the scene of them both on the boat and him explaining how the curse was placed on them.
I would have done anything to find the Tears of the Moon and save Aguirre's daughter. Even chart the Amazon.
You were Aguirre's cartographer. You drew my map.
One by one, the jungle took us. We were all but dead. Still, Aguirre wouldn't turn back. There was no world for him without his daughter in it. And then they came. We would have all died had they not saved us with the Tears of the Moon. The petal's magic was real. Its powers unlocked by the chief and his daughter. All that was broken, the petals mended. And all at once, we were revived. And Aguirre was happy because he was closer than ever to finding a cure for his daughter. But he grew impatient. Aguirre demanded they give him the arrowhead and take him to the tree. The chief refused. Despite all the kindness they'd shown us, he would have killed every last one of them. I loved Aguirre, but I couldn't be part of the madness. And I couldn't just stand by. The chief knew he was breathing his last breath, and he used that breath to protect the arrowhead and their sacred tree. He cursed Aguirre. He cursed all of us, so that we could never leave sight of the river again. Or the jungle would take us back to it for all eternity.
In that explanation to her, I feel like she gained more sympathy and looked at him in another light because he was so focused on helping his pseudo brother. And then also when she found out that he was the cartographer and drew all the maps, she was like, oh, you drew these maps? Like, she was astounded by that.
Well, yeah, because she's been so enamored with this map, and this beautiful map that this somebody in the world decided to make.
That's true.
To find out that it was him, that he did the maps. I mean, come on, you can't help but be enamored.
That is really cool. It's like meeting your favorite artist or your favorite author or something like that.
Yeah.
Super
so
cool.
I feel like that was the turning point. That and then the conversation that Kelly said kind of solved all of that problem.
Okay. You guys are making me want to watch this again because, it's like I missed some things. Well, let's go around and say like our favorite moments.
So my favorite moment has to do with Proxima the cat, the leopard. He at one point Frank spots that Lily has the arrowhead. That is the key to something later on in the movie. And he tells the leopard to go and get it for him. And he goes down below and ends up just licking up all the alcohol because it's spilled on the floor. And then when he tells him, like, do you have it? And he just was like, and he wobbles and throws up. And he's like, no, you're drunk. Like, seriously?
Oh, that scene where everybody threw up was just like, oh
no.
Yeah. Can't do it.
I didn't like that.
It was like one right after the other.
But it was funny that the cat got drunk. Like the leopard got drunk.
The leopard goes from being a really, really bad boy to being a really, really good boy later on.
Like almost like a kitten. Like he's a little.
He's a big kitty.
Cute. Yeah.
It's a big kitty.
Big kitten.
Okay. Well, what about you, Kelly?
So my favorite part is in the beginning when they first get to the Amazon. She's kind of being chased by the Germans, who we haven't even touched upon in this movie. It's a whole nother issue. But the Germans, and she gets kind of captured in this bird cage, but she's running all around and she's trying to get out of it, and she's going up on buildings, kind of like the scene from like Aladdin where they're doing the one jump ahead where Aladdin's running away from the guards. So Emily Blunt's character, Lily, is kind of going along on the rooftops and going under things and over things. And Frank and McGregor on the boat, The Rock and Jack Whitehall, they're trying to catch up to her, trying to get her on the boat so that they could just leave. And he tries to get her in the boat and tell her to jump in the water, and she won't. And she goes all the way around to get on the boat another way. And then Jack Whitehall's character goes, she can't swim.
And he's like, you came to the Amazon and you can't swim?
That was really funny. Yeah. It's like the opposite of Occam's razor, where the simplest answer was the right one. Yeah. She could have just jumped in and got on the boat, but no, she finds this whole different way to get back on the boat.
Yeah, and then as they're like going out into the Amazon and everything is following each other, there's a big submarine and everything, the whole town is just demolished.
Boom.
Nice. Oh my gosh. All right, well, for me, my favorite scene was, I mean, this movie is action adventure, it's meant to be fun, but I feel like there was some emotional moments in there, especially with McGregor, her brother, when, you know, all throughout you think he's like kind of a proper British gentleman until he makes that, confession about why he's following Lily to the ends of the earth.
It was the third time that I'd been presented with an entirely suitable marriage to a charming, educated woman that sits on a horse well. But I had to tell the lady in question that I couldn't accept the offer, or indeed any offer, given that my interests happily lie elsewhere. Uncle threatened to disinherit me. Friends and family turned their backs. All because of who I loved. I would have been ostracized from society, were it not for Lily. She stood by me, and for that I would follow her into a volcano.
And it's because he is actually gay, and that she has, you know, like been there for him when he most needed it. And so, or he didn't actually say that he was gay. He says,
his interest lies elsewhere.
Which, that's another issue, but it is 1916
yes.
And I get it. But, yeah, so I felt like that whole storyline like really kind of turned my head and was like very emotional and it made sense. Like it just fit with the story and it fit with his actions beforehand. It was like puzzle pieces falling into place in an emotional way, which is really, I mean, that's what makes a great movie plot point, you know?
Yes. I loved that conversation between the two because you not only got to understand McGregor's character a little bit more, but you also understood their relationship. And he says that, you know, she's the only one that supported him when he had to tell a nice young lady that he was not interested. And that it seemed to me like he had told his family and that she had either stuck up for him or stood by him or done something to that effect.
Right.
So it really made their bond as brother and sister very, very strong. And their characters have a very strong bond that they would pretty much do anything for each other.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, I love that too. I love Lily and McGregor's brother and sister relationship. Just like I have always really loved Evie's and Jonathan's relationship in The Mummy in 1999. It reminded me a lot of that relationship where like Evie was a librarian and, you know, Lily is a doctor. And so you still like, you have the women that are the, you know, ones that are seeking the adventure. And then you have these like proper British brothers that are along for the ride,
really.
Yeah. I mean, Jonathan was along for the ride and wanted all the treasure. And and I mean, McGregor was along for the ride because he was going to support his sister no matter what because of what she did for him. So I kind of felt that was the correlation that I was making because I've seen The Mummy like multiple times. It's one of my favorite movies. And I just love that relationship. It just reminded me so much of that one. So
Nice.
Well, and before that conversation, it could just have been inferred that he was a proper British gentleman or anything like that, because something about Jack Whitehall is that he has a show on Netflix with his father. Travels with My Father is what it's called, and his father is very much someone who wears the 3-piece suit every single day and talks a little bit more proper. And so I definitely thought he was channeling his father in this movie.
he probably was.
You didn't get like that he was gay until he kind of said it. So I kind of thought that was good too.
Do we want to talk about our least favorite parts?
Sure. Yeah.
Because, I mean, I did feel like there was too many villains. There was too many cooks in the kitchen. I feel like you didn't need the Germans along with the cursed conquistadors, because there was 3 of them that was coming after them, just with the cursed conquistadors. And then you had this whole fleet of German World War One, this prince who really had nothing to do with the story except for bringing the conquistadors back to life.
Yeah, he was the catalyst that brought them back.
But that was his only plot device.
Right. And he was after the tree of life thing
as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just feel like the Germans could have been lifted out. I mean, yes, that's what makes it Indiana Jones versus pirates, is because the Germans are so interlocked with the indie lore that, that's what I immediately go to, with the Germans, because they're always the villains in that. But except for Temple of Doom, but that's besides the point. But so yeah, I mean, I just felt like there was too many villains, especially since you have Milo too, who was the Paul Giamatti character, who was kind of after Frank.
Yes.
And always Kelly likes to do the
Frank calls me money.
the bird. So I mean, you have essentially like 3 different groups of villains throughout this movie, but
it definitely added to the overcomplication of the movie.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I feel like they only resolved one of them. Like the Germans just kind of got left there, and then the conquistadors, they got turned to stone and were left in stone. And Frank was the only one that got resurrected after that. So at the very, very end. So we just kind of left them kind of frozen in time, I would say.
Right. Yeah.
The thing that I had issue with was the end where Emily Blunt's character, who after my favorite part in the beginning, she avoided trying to swim at all costs, including burning down and destroying a town. She has to swim down to a cave type place to reveal the stone.
The stone, yeah, turn water to stone. Yeah.
And she's swimming and she's staying underwater for a long time. And I'm like, is there someone who doesn't know how to swim, who doesn't know how to breathe while underwater or hold their breath for very long? I thought that was a little far-fetched.
Right. I know a lot of these films are suspension of disbelief, but it was a little when they.
I mean, she was holding on to him when he was going down there, but
then she's down there and she's trapped in this little cave type thing, and she's trying to pull the lever so that the lever moves, and I don't know. It just seemed to me like if you don't know how to swim, you wouldn't be that good of a swimmer.
Yeah, no, I agree.
But yeah, suspension of disbelief is pretty much what that comes down to. But that was only the huge issue, other than the snakes and the bees and the branches in the villains. I feel even though part of the story is that the Amazon was eating away at them,
their souls,
at their souls or their bodies or whatever. it was just disgusting. I couldn't watch. I was like watching it through my fingers. Like I just couldn't do it.
I hear you. Yeah. That was a little
I was like, take that away and you still have cursed conquistadors. Like,
yeah,
come on.
Yeah, they don't have to be gross or a snake coming out of its cheek or something weird.
I know that was the worst thing is when they sliced it open and then the snake came out of it. I was like, ew.
That was not
gross.
good.
No. No.
But we didn't really talk about Trader Sam.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I did like that twist. How Trader Sam.
Yeah, Trader Sam's a woman.
Yes. Yeah. I liked that too.
I liked her. And actually, I was just watching Why Women Kill on Paramount Plus, and it's the same. The Trader Sam is in that. The second season.
Same actress,
and I was like, since I was watching it, I was like, oh, it's Christina or whoever her name is, and in the show. But like, I recognized her because, like, I guess maybe she got that show from the Jungle Cruise. I don't know.
Oh,
even though it hadn't come out yet, but because I hadn't seen her in anything else, and then I was like, oh, it's the same actress. Cool. So
that's nice.
I did like the fact that it was kind of like they were hired to scare people and hired to Frank would hire them to be like head hunters, and they weren't actually head hunters.
Yeah,
you know.
And it goes along with the ride too.
Yeah.
How the ride is animatronics, so it's like
right. Yeah. And especially since they've now taken that out of the ride due to issues that we talked about earlier. The fact that they weren't actually headhunters was good because, they still use the joke where you should not be headed into headhunter territory. But, it was good because it was tongue in cheek because you knew at that point that Frank was kind of controlling that everything on that Jungle Cruise where he was shooting at things to make things happen or giving the nod or the wink to people to do stuff. So you kind of knew that he was controlling everything and that they weren't in any actual danger.
Yeah. That's cool. I like that tie-in, the movie ride tie-in.
Yes. It's always fun when you can see the movie ride tie-in because I feel like in Pirates of the Caribbean, you saw a lot of that. Like there were certain scenes that you could totally lift out of the ride and it was in the movie. So I'm glad that like that whole opening part with the Frank's opening part, that was totally lifted right out of the ride. He told the jokes. He did the granite jokes, the back side of water joke. He did like the corny not hitting joke about like the orange working in an orange factory and how they really put the squeeze to him and it was canned and all of that.
I kind of liked the fact that they weren't laughing at the jokes because I thought that made it funnier for me in the audience, knowing that going on the Jungle Cruise, people are only really laughing because they're giving the skipper something to feed off of. But if it was an actual Jungle Cruise and these were actual, I pretty much think that would be the reaction. Like, what was happening?
Wow. Well, clearly, Richard and I need to see this movie with you guys. I think it would be way more fun.
Yes. I think we do need to have a movie night.
Okay. Well, that brings me actually, what's interesting. So you guys saw this in the theaters twice, right?
Yes.
And we did vote with our dollars and buy it on Disney Plus. What about you?
We did buy it on Disney Plus as well.
Oh, okay.
We have not watched it yet on Disney Plus. We saw it twice. We were going to watch it with our parents, but haven't done it yet because, time in the day, only so much. But we do. I have bought every premiere access: Mulan, Raya, Cruella, everybody. Like I love the fact that I can have it right away, and $30 for us. I have AMC Premiere A-List, so I pay monthly. So I feel like I'm not paying for those movies, so I'm paying for the movie to have on Disney Plus.
Okay.
Well, you get three movies a week.
Wow,
averages out to not very much a movie.
Wow, that's a lot a week.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Do you use that up?
We try to. We try to go at least once
a week.
Yeah.
Right. Wow, that's amazing. Okay, cool. Well, good. I hope people do buy it on Disney Plus, honestly, because I really love seeing it at home. Even if I do go out to the theater, like Black Widow saw in the theater, but we bought it that same weekend and I watched it at home with the subtitles. Like, it was awesome just to have it in our space.
For us, it seems to be a little bit better to go see it in a theater and to get immersed in it, because at home we have a lot of distractions. We have our phones, we have our dog, we have our parents. There's a lot of distractions here that kind of make it so that you're not really like focused on the movie. So I do like to go to the theater and watch it once and get a feel for how I actually feel about it, and then I'll watch it at home. And I love having it like the next day or the same day, because I came home and we watched Cruella again, we watched Black Widow again, like she said, we were going to watch Jungle Cruise again, and that would be our third time watching Jungle Cruise.
Wow.
It's very good to have on Disney Plus, and again, we're voting with our dollars too. But for us, the theater seems to be the best way to watch it, at least the initial run.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that makes a lot of sense. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, clearly I need to watch it again. And thank you guys for this awesome discussion.
Well, thank you for joining us.
Yay.
Hey. Well, that was a great discussion about the Jungle Cruise, and we hope we gave you guys something to think about when you watch the movie. We will be putting up a post about our Jungle Cruise adventures, so please tell us your thoughts on the movie as well at Neverland Clubhouse Pod. We want to thank Sarah for joining us today, and we want to thank all of you for listening as well.
Yes, thank you, Sarah, so much. Yeah, thank you. And we want to give a big shout out and thank you to Rob Dellinger for composing our theme song. To hear more of Rob's work and to see where he'll be playing next, please go to his website, alpharhythmkings.com.
We are part of the Skywalking Network.
Skynet.
Oh, Sarah. Stole it.
What's on the Skywalking Network? It sounds good.
Where you can find other great shows like
Talking Apes,
classic Marvel Star Wars comics,
the Max Effects Podcast,
Resilient Squadron,
Totally Tell Me Everything,
Star Warsologies,
the all-new YouTube show Collectopolis,
and the flagship show Skywalking Through Neverland.
You can sign up for the Skywalking Network newsletter. That sign-up form is available in the show notes, or you can head to skywalkingthroughneverland.com and click on the link, sign up for our newsletter. It's pretty obvious. You can check out all the Skywalking Network podcasts and articles at skywalkingthroughneverland.com.
You can also follow us on social media at Neverland Clubhouse Pod, at CLT8622, at Kelly Turkel, and at Jedi Tink. And you can find us on Facebook, Kelly Turkel and Courtney Turkel.
You can also find us in the Skywalking Through Neverland Facebook group. Just search Facebook for Skywalking Through Neverland group, request to join, and then answer the questions that pop up. Do it, or we can't let you in. All right, then, second star to the right and straight on till morning. Join us for our next adventure from the Neverland Clubhouse.
O2H! O2H!